According to a former Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, Oliver Wendell Holmes, he said, and I quote, "Many ideas grow better when transplanted into another mind than the one where they sprang up. This is why the EFCC engages in sensitization programs, including bringing you the eagle to your doorsteps." Thank you for joining us on another episode of the program. My name is Aisha Mohammed.
Hello out there. My name is Abdurrashid Bawa. I'm the Executive Chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The fight against corruption is our collective responsibility. I therefore urge you to please put in your best and help the EFCC achieve its mandate of ridding Nigeria of economic and financial crimes. Together, we can win the fight, and we will win the fight.
The Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, has urged students to go beyond complaining and embrace the fight against economic and financial crimes in the country. Bawa gave the charge through the head, Media and Publicity Unit of the Commission, Wilson Ojaran, when law student of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, visited the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. The students were also advised to rise against cybercriminality. We'll bring you this report and more right after this time out.
Rhymes, yeah. Whoa, corruption must to decrease. This is a canker-worm disease. When our people go live in peace, when all this nyama go cease, I can look back when I
see. Now here I dey work, and I here I dey chop. Sometimes this my work, it is very, very tough, and things go just rough. But that one don't mean say I go put my hand inside bad things now. I know say if I put my mind to do this work well, I know say I go make am. I don't need put my hand inside bad things. I be mechanical, I dey hustle, and I dey legit.
Ni mai sai da kifi ne, ina jajircewa akan nema, ina sana'ata na gaskiya.
IBS stylist, mu dey legit.
I'm selling phone accessory. I dey hustle and I dey legit.
I'm a sound engineer. I dey hustle and I dey legit.
I'm a tailor. I dey hustle and I dey legit.
I'm a barber. I dey hustle and I dey legit.
I'm a painter. I dey hustle. I dey legit.
I'm a fashion designer. I dey hustle and I dey legit.
Be proud of your hustle. Be legit. Say no to cybercrime.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
As a fresh move to boost security and anti-corruption situations in the West African sub-region, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has called for stronger and more effective modalities aimed at stemming the spate of illicit financial flows and other corrupt tendencies in the region. The executive chairman of the EFCC and newly elected president of the 16-nation member organization, Mr. Abdurrashid Bawa, made this call while addressing the 5th Annual General Assembly meeting of the Network of National Anti-Corruption Institutions in West Africa, NATSUA, that held at Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. Bawa, who noted that the ECOWAS sub-region was threatened by existential security challenges which may not be all related directly or indirectly to corruption, urged member states to intensify efforts to stem the spate of illicit financial flows within the sub-region, including illicit flows by politically exposed persons.
The 5th Annual General Assembly meeting is most timely and a unique occasion as it has brought together the leadership of the national anti-corruption institutions from all member countries in person to deliberate, share experiences, exchange information and intelligence in our collective efforts against corruption within the sub-region in line with Article 15 of ECOWAS Protocol on Mutual Legal Assistance and Law Enforcement Collaboration, Article 43 of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption on International Cooperation, as well as Article 18 of the African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption on Cooperation and Mutual Legal Assistance. I therefore wish to commend all members for making time to attend this very important event themed United Against Corruption in West Africa, particularly the outgoing executives whom graciously accepted the responsibility of steering the affairs of the network to positive outcomes beyond their elected tenure and the challenges occasioned by COVID-19. May I also appreciate our regional partners and observers who have continued to support the work of the network in furtherance of its objectives.
The EFCC chairman also stressed the importance of effective collaboration and intelligence sharing among the agencies to achieve their goal. EFCC and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) hosted Natsiwa for the two-day meeting in Abuja. At the meeting, Bawa was unanimously elected as president of the network to succeed the outgone president Francis Ben Kaifala, head of Sierra Leone Anti-Corruption Agency, whose 3-year tenure ends on March 31, 2022. Abbas Abubakar Umar reporting for the Eagle.
The EFCC chairman Abdurrashid Bawa, while stressing that the youth are the future of Nigeria and as such need to own the fight against economic and financial crimes, urged them to take the anti-corruption message of EFCC to their various destinations and serve as role models. He stated that the youth are the leaders and as such need to be upright in their daily activities.
What we have witnessed recently is that we have a number of youth getting involved in cybercrime especially. I don't think that is the direction that we should go as a nation. All of us have a common objective to rise against cybercriminality, especially among young people, and fight it to a standstill. So once again, I welcome you to the EFCC. I believe that some of you that have this privilege to be here today will see yourself as a role model and show good example wherever you find yourself.
Speaking on the role of lawyers in the fight against corruption, Head Freedom of Information Unit of the Commission, Johnson Ojogbani, observed that the state of Nigeria today is a consequence of economic and financial crimes. Ojogbani told the student that as prospective lawyers, they have a crucial role to play in the nation's fight against corruption, whether as advocates, state councils, or development practitioners. He, however, reminded them that in whatever roles they find themselves, their effectiveness or otherwise will be determined by 3 core values: integrity, courage, and professionalism.
A nation cannot grow if everybody wants to do what they like. If everybody is in a hurry to get money, get rich quick syndrome. People want to drive flashy cars. They want to live in bogus, beautiful houses. But let me say this to you. Those who follow the rules, those who work a little hard, those who are committed to whatever they set themselves to do, those who stay focused on their vision for life, eventually will get there. You'll get to a life of comfort, a life of stability. You will achieve your goals if you remain focused.
Another officer of the commission, CSC Alvan Gurima, told them that the activities of the Operations Department is guided by the provision of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACJA 2015, and that whatsoever the Commission does from the point of arrest is guided by the law. He also took them through the pros and cons of cybercrime and urged them to shun it.
Operations Department, we are guided by the law. The Administration of Criminal Justice Act actually regulates what we do in the Operations Department. So, for example, the way and manner we arrest suspects, the way and manner we conduct search, we handle suspects, we process suspects, we handle exhibits. All of these things are guided by the provisions of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act.
Also speaking at the event was Head Enlightenment and Reorientation Unit of the Commission, Aisha Mohammed. Mohammed stressed on the need for the students to be good ambassadors of the Commission. While taking the students through the reporting process of the Commission, Mohammed urged them to be foot soldiers of the EFCC by saying something and saying something to the EFCC.
You are our ambassadors. We want you to represent us. We want you to talk about anti-corruption, talk about the fight, tell people what you've learned today. I'm sure some people don't even know most of the things you were taught today. So please tell people about anti-corruption and help us pass the messages.
Chairman of the Students' Council of Partners, Yakubu Muhammad, thanked the Commission for their interaction and promised to take what they have learned back to school and to represent the Commission in every way possible. Amina Kawa reporting for The Eagle.
The Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdurrashid Bah, has enjoined Nigerian youths to be diligent and hardworking as the acceptable means to becoming successful. The EFCC boss gave the charge at an event organized by ENA COVID-19 for repentant commercial sex workers, orphans and victims of domestic violence, as well as other vulnerable persons. Bah, who spoke through the head of Creative Communications Unit of the Public Affairs Department of the Commission, Wanyuma Okeanu, encouraged the participants to shun crime and be diligent in their pursuit. According to him, obedience, hard work, creativity, belief in oneself are keys to becoming successful in Nigeria. He commended the organizers for helping vulnerable Nigerians to do something meaningful which will in turn help them stay out of crime. The convener and executive director Ben Onwudinjo said ENA COVID-19 is an advocacy, teaching, empowerment and scholarship organization targeted at the vulnerable in the society. He pointed out that what his organization is doing is helping as many Nigerians as possible to make something meaningful out of life through vocational training in bakery, tailoring, photography, etc. He added that their plan is to also teach, prepare and give scholarship to participants to write the 2022 May-Juneko and NAPTEC exams. Abbas Abubakar Umar reporting for The Eagle.
Thank you, Amina and Abbas, for bringing us up to date with the EFCC activities. Health insurance is a contract that requires an insurer to pay some or all of a person's healthcare costs in exchange for a premium. More specifically, health insurance typically pays for medical, surgical, prescription drugs, and sometimes dental expenses incurred by the insured. Health insurance can reimburse the insured for expenses incurred from illnesses or injury or pay the care provider directly. It is often included in employee benefit packages as a means of enticing quality employees with premium partially covered by the employer but often also deducted from employee paychecks. The cost of health insurance premiums is deductible to the payer, and the benefits received are tax-free with certain exceptions for corporation employees. Despite the importance of health insurance and how citizens strive to take care of their health, there are some dubious individuals that go out of their way to commit fraud in the health insurance scheme. Ojo Chokutami Eche and our guest will tell us more about health insurance fraud in our interview segment. Over to you, Ojo Chokutami.
It's another opportunity to discuss another matter that has been boggling the minds of Nigerians for some time now. I'm talking about health insurance fraud. Now, you walk into a hospital or a health facility and you get less than you expect because there is some kind of fraud happening right there. Where does it come from and what does the EFCC do about it? Let's settle some of these outstanding issues surrounding health insurance fraud in Nigeria with our guest, the head CTGI, that's the Counter-Terrorism and General Investigations section of the Operations Department of the EFCC, Mr. Afiz Mustafa. He is a Chief Superintendent of the EFCC. Mr. Mustafa, welcome on the program.
My pleasure.
Let's start from the very beginning here, Mr. Afiz Mustafa. What is health insurance scheme?
Health insurance is a type of insurance that covers the cost of an insured person's medical benefits or surgery expenses. So the insurance covers the cost whenever it arises. If you have a medical situation and you need to go in for treatment or surgery, the fact that you are insured money is made available from the pool of contributors to give you that cover, the cost cover.
When can we say fraud has occurred in the health insurance scheme?
Okay, so I think let's understand the meaning of fraud first. Okay, fraud can be described as the use of deceit or misrepresentation to gain access to finances or personal gains, to have access to personal gains. So now marry that with health insurance fraud. So you can describe it as the use of deceit and misrepresentation to gain access to unauthorized medical or surgical benefits of a policyholder, meaning an insured person, or a party, a stakeholder in the health insurance scheme. So if that happens, then you know there's fraud. Okay? Okay, so that's the simple definition of health insurance fraud.
In a health insurance scheme, there are two parties. There is the insured and there is the insurer. In this case, maybe the HMO and all that. Now, how do each of these groups perpetrate fraud in their respective settings?
You're talking about the insured. When fraud has affected the insured and other stakeholders. So we need to understand the role each person plays so that our audience can have a better understanding. Okay? The NHIS regulates the scheme. Okay, NHIS is a government agency established by the NHIS Act 2004 to provide universal health coverage.
We are talking about life here. We're talking about the life of a human being. Where there is health insurance, especially on the rise, how does it affect, Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole?
So we have the patients, okay? They are stakeholders in health insurance. You have the health maintenance organizations. Those are the HMOs, okay? Then you have the HCLs. Those are the healthcare facilities. These three stakeholders, they are fraudulent activities that are perpetrated by the three of them, including the managers of health insurance. Those are the government officials that are placed in positions to manage these funds. Okay, so if we start from there, the managers of the funds, we have frauds like misappropriation of funds. We have abuse of office. Okay, they dip their hands into these funds, into the cookie jar, and divert the funds, not for the benefit of providing universal health care coverage for Nigerians, but for their personal gains. So if you come to the patients themselves, the patients can also be fraudulent in this. Okay, you have identity theft or identity swapping. Identity theft, this is when you can use an insured person's identity to have access to the insurance.
If someone suspects, fraud in the scheme, in the health insurance scheme, whether national, state, local governments, how can they report to the EFCC?
The normal way, they can report to the HMO first, but if nothing is done, of course, they are free to come to the EFCC and report the clinic or the HMO itself to the EFCC, then we investigate the matter.
Your final word before I hand over to Aisha Mohammed in the studio.
Identity theft, do not protect your insurance details jealously, and do not also give your details to other people to use. That's identity swapping. There are punishments for that. So we need to protect our information and also don't get involved in this fraud.
And that's it with our guest today, CSE Afiz Mustafa. He is the head counter-terrorism and general investigations CTGI section of the Department of Operations of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. I'm sure you learned a thing or two. Be very, very mindful of what you do. Do not perpetrate health insurance fraud, because if the EFCC gets you, it's trouble all the way. My name is Oja Chukutami Eche. Aisha Mohammed takes it over from here. Aisha, it's over to you.
An American radio personality, Rush Limbaugh, said, "If you're healthy, If you don't get sick much, if you don't go to the doctor much, or use your health insurance much, you are a genetic lottery winner. It has nothing to do with the way you live, nothing to do with doing the right things. It's just sheer luck. And as stated by our guest, Hafiz Mustafa, the head counterterrorism and general investigation pension section, protect your details jealously and do not get involved in fraud. As usual, before we end the program, the EFCC wants to sound this note of caution. Be careful what type of investment scheme you subscribe to. Here are some tips for you to look out for to avoid being scammed. High returns with little or no risk, overly consistent returns, unregistered investment, unlicensed sellers, secretive and complex strategies. Avoid investment if you don't understand them or can't get complete information about them. If there is difficulty in receiving payments or have difficulty cashing out, be suspicious. This is because Ponzi scheme promoters sometimes try to prevent participants from cashing out by offering even higher returns for staying put. Be careful. And that concludes our program for the day. We will be back next week, same time, same station. Don't forget to keep a date with us. But before we go, here is a reminder that you can send an email to info@efcc.gov.ng and can speak to our representatives or officers on 0809 3322 644 and follow us on all our social media platforms at official EFCC. For matters relating to economic and financial crimes only. If you see fraud happening, use the EFCC mobile app, the Eagle Eye. Download the app, follow the steps, and report fraud on the go. You can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them. My name is Aisha Muhammad, leaving you with this parting words that says, if you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. Please do the right thing always. God bless Nigeria. Please do stay safe, be kind to one another, and enjoy the rest of your day.